Just over a year ago, I went on medical leave. I had a full hysterectomy for a multitude of medical reasons. And while I'm grateful I had the journey, in short, it was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life. And my recovery took much longer than I had hoped, largely due to the fact that I lacked resources for how to navigate that journey. The struggle to find acknowledgement that women need to be supported and our voices need to be heard, it put a fire in my belly. And with support from my general manager, Jessica Hagan, Mom Matters was created. Mom Matters is a safe and non-judgmental space for women to lean in and be heard. And most importantly, for women to know while the journey can be long, whatever that journey is, they are never alone. I'm also excited to share that Mom Matters is launching a partnership with Shannon McGuire of Supreme Moms. Shannon, too, has a deep desire to support moms and is working really hard to give moms a voice. She has actually personally funded a Gallup poll focused specifically on Idaho moms. And we'll be using the preliminary findings of this poll to fuel the conversation on Mom Matters. Shannon joins me now to share more. Shannon, I am so excited and so elated to offer this opportunity to moms. Why did you find it important yourself personally to give moms a voice?
Oh my goodness, this started in 2020. So in 2020, beginning of the year, I had taken the time to say, I want to help moms, founded Supreme Moms. 2 weeks later, the pandemic hit. Ugh. And in that pandemic time, there was so much that we were responsible for, so much that came to be, and we got through it because of moms. And I sat back and thought, how are we? And how will we be moving forward? And so I thought, start with home, start with Idaho and start with our moms, and let's talk to them, let's listen to them and see and hear what's in their hearts.
All right, and that Gallup poll comes out when?
May 9th,
okay.
Just in time for Mother's Day.
Just in time for Mother's Day, could not be better timing. I'm so excited to share with everybody our first inaugural episode of Mom Matters. Check this out. And welcome to Mom Matters, created by Moms for Moms, a safe and non-judgmental space for moms' voices to be heard. I'm joined by Genevieve Nutting, creator of the Womanist Community and mom of a bouncing baby boy, Krista Bell, life coach and former counselor and mother and grandmother. We also have Natalie Allen. She is the assistant news director at KTVB and mother of 4, and Shannon McGuire, creator of Supreme Moms and mother and grandmother. And the first piece of information to come from this Gallup poll is moms are burnt out.
Surprise, surprise.
I know, right? I know. I love the visceral response right here. Shannon shakes her head.
Taking a moment.
We all laugh. We're like, well, yeah, duh. Okay, but ladies, what does being burnt out mean to you?
I say I'm tired a lot. I'm tired, and the drain of the day. At the end of the day, just feeling like I can't do one more thing. Oh, I have to wipe a butt. Okay, I'll get up. One more time. Just depleted.
Yeah, I think I tend to feel tired and overstimulated almost. Like,
Yes.
Stop the noises, turn the lights down low. I feel a little bit overstimulated.
Yeah, like you can't shut off.
Right.
Sometimes I find that when I get in that constant go and I can't shut off, and I do what I call bulldozing. I'll just bulldoze through everything. And I don't realize that I'm not giving cues to my family. And then they get in the path of the bulldozer, right? Which isn't a good thing, right? What about you, Genevieve?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it, and you said something like, watch out for mom, and I think there's this stereotype, like, moms are angry, moms are upset, and you said it, we're overstimulated, we're touched out, we feel like we have nothing left to give, and then you have to take care of yourself. So you're like taking care of these little humans, keeping them alive. And then what about like the core generator of giving? So for me, it's a constant check-in of like, do I have space and time to see what my needs are before getting burnt out, which typically you get burnt out before checking with those needs.
You said a word that is so important, and one that I have just become accustomed to this year, which Krista, I know you and I have talked a number of times too about the importance of filling your cup, right? Checking in with yourself and making sure that you're creating space. And while moms, we have this litany of responsibility, both sometimes professionally, but also at home, right? Because even though some women are stepping up to the plate greater this day and age, professionally, our roles at home really aren't changing much, if at all, right? So then all of a sudden we have this increased expectation here, along with this one here, and we're holding two massive things. or I mean, moms just have a lot. You need to make sure that you're creating space for yourself, which is a really hard thing to do.
To do it without feeling guilt.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, mom guilt is so real, and that's a whole other topic we're going to talk about in the future.
Which connects to the burnout, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so on that point of burnout, though, are you guys asking for help? Shannon.
So this one is a little personal. We were just having this discussion in my home last week.
Okay.
I do. And sometimes I don't always know that I am because I learned to speak in metaphors as a child in the maypole asking of like, that needs to be done and not being direct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm raising my hand. Yes.
But at the
thing.
same time, I struggle because when I do ask for help and I don't get the help that I need, it's that side of it that prevents me from asking for more help.
My husband is a big source of my help. I will say, I mean, he cooks dinner, he will wash the clothes. I mean, he is huge. I will say, though, we talk about work-life balance, and what is that anyway, right? You have to be very intentional about it. But because I'm so busy, you mentioned it, I'm a news director here, I don't
Mom of
have
4.
Correct. Mom of 4. Everybody is in different sports.
Yeah.
I don't have time to develop deep relationships with people that I trust to take care of 4 kids. And also, I know how hard it is to take care of 4 kids. So do I ask for help? Probably not as often as I should. And I've been here for, 14 years in Idaho. Still haven't developed that deep relationship with someone that I would trust.
So the extensive community outside of your nuclear family, right? So you and your husband got it.
Right.
But your husband also probably needs some support. And then you also
Exactly.
need an outlet.
Exactly.
You need mom outlet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Natalie needs to go play.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it's confession time. But I think for me, it's the being honest with myself that I need help and that I need to ask for it and I need to be direct. I'm the same way that you are, Shannon. I'm like, if y'all could do this, then it would be great. And then it doesn't get done, and then I get frustrated. So the honesty with myself. I need to stop. I need to slow down. I need help. I need to ask directly. And then to do that. And then when I get the results that I'm looking for, that releases the stress inside of me. So I'm able to go ahead and be the mom and the wife and the coach that I know that I can be and get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
I think another part of it too is the need to justify why you need help. And I think even just, taking a step back, our human core, we need help. And we have a challenging time even before becoming a mom. I had a hard time asking for help. And then you become a mom, and it's like assumed that you know how to take on all these responsibilities and take care of yourself and contribute to society and be a good partner and show up the best. And even this morning, my in-laws came here and met me to get my little boy, and they asked if I wanted them to take him the whole day. And originally I felt kind of guilty asking for that, and I did need it. I had a lot of stuff that I need for me, and I felt the need to explain why I needed that help rather than just saying, yes, I would love that help. So just this need to explain and to validate, like, no, you need help. How can we help you out? Like, how can we get in a support system for you? Which is why I'm so
justification.
grateful for what you have. Yeah.
Yeah, justifying it.
Absolutely. But you shouldn't have to.
Which just ties to the whole mom guilt thing.
Yeah,
like the guilt
exactly.
And why are we guilty for asking for help, and why are we guilty when we're not asking for help? The isolation, so the guilt that I feel like I need to take it all on. The guilt of when I do get help of talking, and then that guilt burns out my emotional meter and burns me out at the same time. So yes to all the things.
Yeah. Well, and you said, because you know how much it is to take care of 4 kids, so then asking someone else, like, I know how much it is to take care of a 19-month-old and not on someone else. Like,
Exactly. And I did work in preschool for a little bit.
I
did.
That's a good skill set.
Stint between, TV station to TV station, I worked in preschool, and I know what it's like to take care of somebody else's child.
Yes.
I love them, but it's not the same as mom love, and so that's tough.
Yeah.
Ladies, I want to thank you all for being vulnerable and sharing your voice Hopefully we've helped somebody today. I will say that our next episode is going to be a bit of a continuation of this conversation. We touched on it. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about moms need a community. So Natalie, you so wonderfully set us up for that. So make sure that you tune in again next week for Mom Matters. And welcome to Mom Matters, created by moms for moms. This is a safe and non-judgmental space for women's voices to be heard. And I'm joined by Genevieve Nutting, creator of the Womanist Community and mom of a bouncing baby boy. We also have Krista Bell, life coach and former counselor, mother and grandmother. And we have Natalie Allen. She's the assistant news director at KTVB, mom of 4, and Shannon McGuire, creator of Supreme Moms, mother and grandmother. Now, Shannon, you are very invested in moms having a voice, so much you've actually funded a Gallup poll focused specifically on the state of Idaho's moms. That information goes public the weekend of Mother's Day. But here on Mom Matters, we're using some of that preliminary information to kind of be our launching pad for some of our conversations here. And last week, we talked a bit about moms being burnt out. So if you didn't get to see that one, make sure you go to the Idaho Today landing page to check that out. Today, though, ladies, we're talking about moms need a community. And what does community mean to you?
Oh, for me, if I can jump in, like
Yes.
hearts with shared values, and also a group of people that can lift me and challenge me. Community, hearts, and values.
Hearts and values. What does it mean to you, Natalie?
I want that.
Yeah, ditto.
I know. And we talked about last episode, you know, I haven't had a chance to develop that deep community just yet, even though I've been here for more than a decade. So yeah, that.
Yes.
I'm going to just steal your answer. I want that.
I feel like that sounds good. What about you, Krista?
Yeah, I think community is, we have to put ourselves out there and take that risk. And being a mom, I've been a mom for 32 years. I've actively parented for 32 years. And I've had times where I've been isolated and by myself, and they were pretty dark times. But once I put myself out there and I've started to engage in life and relationships with other people, that brings such life for me. And it's so foundational for us to be in relationship. But it's scary to take that step and to move into friendship and relationship, and that first cup of coffee that we have with somebody, and what do I say, what do I don't say, how much do I share? They're going to be like, oh my goodness, this lady's crazy, I don't want to see her again. But community is so important for us as women. There's so many things that we deal with as women that other people don't, men don't understand. And then as moms, I kid around with my kids. They're like, Mom, how do you know that? I'm like, it's in the mom book.
Yes, it's in the mom book.
But we need to share the mom book with each other.
Yes.
And be able to say, hey, you have a 19-month-old. That's hard. And you're not getting sleep. And, I'm supporting you and I'm here for you and whatever you need. And, but being able to put ourselves out there to support one another and not be judgmental or biting or kind of harsh with each other, but hey, this is what we have each other, and that's all we have, and we need to step up and take care of each other. And that's, if we're going to raise a new generation, we're going to have to do it as moms together, and we're going to have to focus on supporting one another and bringing people out and saying, hey, come on, let's
Come join us. Yes.
Gosh, well, I just felt so seen in your messaging. I feel like I just kind of, and I think that's a lot of community is, when we created Women as Community, it was a space for women to be seen, heard, and valued. And not only that, but seeing yourself in other women too, seeing yourself in other mom, that idea of yes, I feel you, and I can experience this. I had a recent experience of, trying to find time for myself. I'm a wellness coach, I'm a trainer, and I give and I give and I give to other people, including my child and my partner, and I need to receive. And so I went to this space and I just wanted to work out. They had free childcare and I got to work out at the same time. And I put on my hat and I was like, I don't want anyone to talk to me, which if you know me is very not like me. But I just wanted time to myself. And before I knew it, people are high-fiving and they're cheering me on and I'm racking up my weights and I'm lifting more. And I realized that's we as humans, a fundamental need is to feel seen, heard, and valued. And And before I know, I'm walking back in that space, and you've got that high fives, and it's a space where moms predominantly come to, and it's just seeing each other. Like, we might not have the same experience growing up, we might have different belief-backed systems, but we also have so much in common and core connection. So community is so important.
If I join a community, am I going to have to go to events and do things? I just want to sit in my sweats and smell and
Not shower.
not shower right now.
Oh
I'll
my
bathe
goodness,
later.
yes.
But the exhaustion sometimes before even starting and going, is this going to be something that I have to keep giving to? But I had to switch my brain and go, no, it's to recharge.
Yeah.
It's to recharge, a community to recharge in. So for those that are like me that feel exhausted, just flip it, recharge.
Yes, recharge.
Okay.
Yes, it's a chance to recharge and a chance too to truly show up as yourself.
Yes.
Right, like, and very transparently speaking, the fact that I'm in the public a lot, people, when they see me in the public, they're like, they're gonna see me like this. No, you ain't. No, like, on my days when I am not in front of a camera, no makeup, hair and pulled back in a ponytail, ball cap, yoga pants, live in those suckers, love them, sweatshirts, that's my life, tennis shoes. And when I show up to coffee, like with Krista, most of the time I show up, it's like I'm stinky, smelly, and it's great, and we drink our coffee, right? Or tea, because I do get tea. But it's finding that opportunity to show up in a safe space as yourself, not as you want people to perceive you, but just truly being you. That's a lot to talk about, and that's a lot of expectation. And in order to do that, though, you got to start somewhere, right? And it's always baby steps. Ladies, as always, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. Everyone, make sure you stick around, because next Wednesday here on Mom Matters, we're continuing the conversation. This time around, the fact that moms need to be heard. All right, we'll see you next Wednesday. And welcome to Mom Matters, created by Moms for Moms, a safe and non-judgmental space for moms' voices to be heard. I'm joined by Genevieve Nutting, creator of the Womanist Community and mom of a bouncing baby boy. We have Krista Bell, life coach, former counselor, and mother and grandmother. Natalie Allen, assistant news director here at KTVB and mother of 4. Shannon McGuire, creator of Supreme Moms and mother and grandmother. Now, ladies, today we're going to be talking about a topic that comes from a Gallup poll that Shannon, through Supreme Moms, you funded a Gallup poll that was focused specifically on Idaho moms. We've been using the preliminary information from that Gallup poll to fuel the conversations here on Mom Matters. It goes public, though, the weekend of Mother's Day. And we've talked about a number of topics. We've talked about, do moms need a community, which was last week. The week before that, moms are burnt out. Today we're talking about moms need to be heard. What's your first thought when you hear that?
Are they listening?
Yes.
So I think there's a notion of being heard, that are they speaking up? Are you talking? Are you sharing? Yes, but are folks listening? Are we really heard? For me, it's, can you repeat back what I just said in a way that we both agree to? And are moms really being heard? I think partially. And I'll add that I feel like when moms are being heard, it's a negative slant. It's this negative slant of the motherhood penalty and the burden and all the things. But what about the other side? What about the good side, and where we do feel uplifted? So the paradox of motherhood is real, but are people listening? That's what I come back to.
Yeah, and I think of not just being heard, but being understood. I think that's what it is making sure that, somebody else who maybe doesn't have your same life upbringing, doesn't have 4 kids, hears you, understands, and empathizes with you. I think that's what I long for in a community of moms, and a community of working moms especially, just understanding.
That's interesting, being heard, but actually being understood. That's one thing that I really love to do in my coaching, is listen and really hear and validate and be able to say, hey, you're okay, and it's okay, and it's going to be okay. But there is that hesitancy sometimes to share, because what if this is so off the wall, or if it's too personal, or are they gonna, take a step back, and that rejection factor that comes into play sometimes. So there is definitely a lens in which people see us as moms, and the value in that job that we have. I've had more than one instance, because I have chosen to stay home for most of my raising of my kids, that people don't know what to talk to me about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a brain, or I don't have an education, or I don't have interests outside of that mom title. And so I think that is a hesitancy for people to actually hear us too, because they already have that lens in which they see me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just a mom.
And just a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get paid a lot, but I love my grandkids, and that's the payment enough right there.
We'll talk more about the payment in the next episode. Okay.
Gosh, I feel like I just keep seeing myself. You were speaking to me, and I think there's that knowing of self and what you need. We talked about that, expressing our needs, having a space though where you can express that. Like, do you have your communities? Kind of going off of what we already talked about. Do you have your communities where you feel comfortable expressing yourself? Are you giving yourself time to identify what you need so you know how to communicate? Because there is that, okay, do I know what my needs are? Do I have a safe space to express it? Are people listening to me? And then is that being implemented?
When it comes to being heard, for each of you, because all of our journey is different, right? What's the thing that really sticks you, that you're like, I just really wish that they'd pay attention to them? You're like, what do you feel you're not being heard?
I think at work. I mean, as much as I love, okay, I will preface this by saying I'm being vulnerable and I'm being transparent. I love working at KTVB.
Clearly, you've been
I love
here for a
my
long
job.
time.
I've been doing this for a long time. But I think people, because I'm such an independent person, because I'm such a go-getter and a career boss mom, as people like to call me, sometimes they forget that mom part. And so I get calls sometimes, can you do this? And I'm like, I'm actually changing a diaper right now. I don't know if I can.
Creating a boundary.
And then I'll do it in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll do it in 2 minutes. I'm rushing to change a diaper and then going straight to the next thing at my home time, during my home time, And so, and it's hard because you enjoy doing what you're doing. So that speaks to, I do love what I'm doing. But also my family does need me as well. So I think that I show up at work, and then sometimes that could affect my home life because I'm showing so much.
I think through the years, I have learned to listen to myself and to say directly, I need to be heard and I need you to listen. And in that regards, that's helped a lot in being able to communicate clearly with people. And so just straight up, right in the beginning, hey, I really need you to hear this clearly, or this is really important to me, or this is heavy on my heart, and being able to share that vulnerability of my heart with somebody else and making it known that this is a vulnerable spot and I need to be heard, I think helps a lot.
I think I am a good communicator as to when I need to be heard, and I do believe when I can clearly communicate, I am heard. I think the hardest part I'm struggling with, and I think you already said, like, you listen to yourself, and as a coach, I'm constantly giving resources, giving guidance, and I think it's pretty good guidance, but am I listening to it?
Yeah.
And I think it's just, I know, oftentimes I'm like, wait, what did I tell you?
Conundrum.
What did I tell you? I need to listen to it, but I had a friend recently tell me, because I had a lot of I'm in this space of navigating, like, who am I outside of being a mom? Like, I'm not just a mom, but I'm more than a mom, and what are my needs? And she said, you need to slow down. Like, you need to slow down, and you need time to think about, like, what do you want? And so I think right now my work is in listening to me, but giving myself space to really know what I need, so that when I do tell someone, I can clearly communicate, this is where I need you to step in and help me. I need to lean on you.
As always, thank you so much for being vulnerable and showing up. Yes, to all of you. And make sure you all at home stick around for next Wednesday, because we'll be talking about moms need more work options. Yes, that's going to be a hot topic. All right, we'll see you next week. And welcome to Mom Matters, created by moms for moms, a safe and non-judgmental space for women's voices to be heard. I'm joined by Genevieve Nutting, creator of the Womanist Community and mom of a bouncing baby boy. We have Christabel, life coach and former counselor and mother and grandmother. Natalie Allen, assistant news director at KTVB and mother of 4. Shannon McGuire, creator of Supreme Moms and mother and grandmother. And Shannon, through Supreme Moms, you actually funded a Gallup poll focused specifically on the state of Idaho's moms. And we're using some of that preliminary information to fuel the conversation here at Mom Matters. That information, though, on that Gallup poll, by the way, for everyone at home, comes out the weekend of Mother's Day. Perfect timing. And over the past few weeks, we've been talking about really important topics from that Gallup poll. Some of them focusing on moms are burnt out, moms need a community, moms need to be heard was our last conversation. If you missed any of them, you can find them at the Idaho Today YouTube channel and also at the Idaho Today landing page at ktvb.com. Ladies, today we're talking about a really hot topic. Moms need better work options. That's what the Gallup poll says. Okay, Shannon, I see you're already raising your hand. Let's dive in.
Yes, you know, this one is so to my heart because I founded my own consultancy about 10 years ago, and 10 years, right? And it was because I needed better options. So I kind of carved out a space for myself. So when I hear this, I go, yes, I know exactly what moms are saying and what we need and the flexibility to be who we are. I go back to what you said in one of our other segments about the work balance, work-life balance of I'm changing diapers and you need this from me. I got to do this and rush to do that. So when I think of the options for moms, especially in a post-pandemic world, we can't go back. We're not who we were. And so the typical 9 to 5 never worked. Our kids are 8 to 3 in school. We're 9 to 5 at work. What's up with that?
I left my first job. I was a former TV reporter, anchor, and I left my first job because my child wouldn't take a bottle. It had to be me, right? So I had to leave, and it was tough. But I'll go back to something someone told me. You know, you have an A team and you have a B team. Your work is your B team as much as you love it. Your A team is at home. Your A team is at home. And so I've had to navigate that, and that might look like different shifts at different times in my life because I've had a child born this year, and then 3 years later, another child born. And the work has given me, this job has given me flexibility to say, okay, I'm going to work early hours so that I can get off early because I've got to coach this, or I've got to go to this, or my child has to go to this therapy.
You have to show up for your family.
Yes, absolutely. So I felt comfortable enough here to be able to say, hey, I need this.
I too started my own business because I wanted options. And being able to be flexible was really important. I have a special needs daughter. And because of that, that takes a lot of time and mental energy. So being able to make my own schedule and it be flexible enough that I can help her with what her needs are was really important. I did work outside of the home for several years and got a nanny and did all that stuff, but I could not do it all. It was totally crazy. I don't know where in my brain I thought I could do it all. I couldn't. And I didn't have the support system around me at that time to do that. So that was a real eye-opener for me. So being able to transition out of that full-time work to having my own business and doing that on my schedule was amazing.
Moms need flexibility. We need flexibility because we have so much that we're managing. Genevieve, what were you going to add?
Yeah, oh my gosh, my mind is flooded with so much information. Like, let's have a narrow point of focus. But I think there's a couple parts that I look at. One, yes, we need the conditions of our work, the schedule, the pay, the amenities. I mean, I think that people who are making these choices should have to kind of step into the role of a mother sometimes when they're making those decisions. But now knowing the moms that I know and the conditions that they work under and the hours they're working just to be present with their children, and they're not getting sleep. I mean, we're not getting sleep anyways. You're not present with your friends, you're not present with your family, you're not present with yourself.
And I think we've all kind of pointed to this too, the importance of having strong at-home personal relationships. Means so much because it influences your work relationships as well, right? While I worked for a corporate entity, I had friends that were working for, Google and Apple, and they would go to work with their kids, and there was built-in daycare. There was doctors on their campus, so if the kid got sick, the mom would just take a lunch break, go over to the daycare, walk the kid over to the doctor, and then go back to her office. Nice, right? That's incredibly nice.
Right.
It's like, so, there are structures like that in our society. There just needs to be more.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
There
because
needs to
right
be so
now,
much more.
work-life balance, it's really dependent on how I navigate it.
Yes.
How
Exactly.
I become, the voice for that myself.
Right.
Yes.
We need more employers to
Yes.
be able to say, here's what we have to offer.
They need to hear that,
Yes.
and they need to show that they're listening, right? Yes, absolutely. Again, though, more information is going to come out on this topic in the Gallup poll on Mother's Day weekend, focused specifically on Idaho moms. For Mom Matters, we'll be back again next week. Next Wednesday, we'll be talking about moms enjoy being moms. What does that really mean? Do we? What does being mom really mean?
Yes.
That's more to come right here on Mom Matters.